Welcome back. We're here at Offstage Talks. I'm your host, Sandra Jalashvili, and today we're here joined by one of the most respected figures in global creative community. A writer, a creative director who has produced groundbreaking work all over the world. He is the director and publisher of Lurcher's Archive, the world's leading creative review magazine. He is also the CEO of Cresta Awards, a leading independent award for advertising, film, and design. Please welcome Louis Blackwell.
Sure.
Louis, I think it's your first time in Georgia and to Adblexy itself. What's your first impressions of the festival? How are you enjoying life here?
I'm very impressed. I was surprised at how many people get to come to it, which is great, and it's a really nice size, in terms of number of people, and it's a great feeling when you're giving a talk, as I did yesterday, to have that many people there all listening in. But also it's a great venue. I mean, being here with these people, the awards tomorrow. There's a lovely place to be in Batumi. The weather's quite decent when it's not raining. Yeah, I'm having a nice time, basically. Thank you.
Your keynote was titled "The End of Advertising and What Comes After," right? It's to say the least a provocative name for a keynote speech at the advertising festival. What exactly do you mean by end of advertising, and is it death, or do you mean like something like transformation, the way we perceive it?
Yeah, I think I used that title for two reasons. One, because I wanted to talk about this sort of the process of what we need to do in advertising, and this title gets to it. But we're also facing a time where there's been a lot of negativity in our own sort of trade media, in a sort of the feeling around the industry, sort of globally and specifically in certain countries. This is driven by things like AI, big disruption to people's jobs. Everybody's fearing they're going to lose their jobs. It's not going to happen quite that way, but there will be a lot of change. There's economic turmoil in recent time. That is maybe exaggerated as well, but also when you see any fear of economic change, the marketing budgets are the first thing that tends to get put on hold. So there's been a lot of threats to advertising, and I'm finding that the tech leadership, Google and Meta and whatever, they have been eating more and more of the budget. So that's not good for creativity.
And at Lurcher's Archive, it has been showcasing the world's best creativity for over 40 years, right? And you also lead Cresta Awards, which aims to recognize high standards of creativity, with so much being produced every year, and especially in recent times with development of AI and faster advertising. It's all becoming a sea of mediocrity, and the importance of recognizing special work, I think, is growing with it. What makes a piece of work stand out, and how can you find truly great advertising in this sea of mediocrity?
Well, I think we have to accept that there will always be most things are crap, basically, and that actually goes for most areas of everything. Like most places to buy some food, they're not very good. They're maybe they're legally okay, but they're not. When you find a great restaurant, and so on and so forth for every sector. But in advertising, I'd say, a very small percentage of ads are actually really decent ads. And there's a lot of copying going on, and that's just the nature of every industry. So it doesn't dismay me that there's a sea of mediocrity or worse. That is the nature of things. What we're looking for at Lurchers, or we're looking at Cresta, is to find that excellence. Because by putting that excellence out there, showing the best, showing the innovative movement in the industry, you'll encourage more of that to happen. People will see and understand and learn from that. Realize you get rewarded for doing that kind of work too. You're going to get more work because people are looking at who you are. So we encourage the sense of creative excellence, and it helps lead, I suppose. So I don't think there's any particularly any more rubbish today than there ever was. It's just different rubbish.
Yeah, and it's probably easier to produce.
It's easier to produce, and that upsets people because it's disruptive of people making an easy living out of doing some of that stuff before. But yeah.
Wurzel's archive is like a global authority in creative business, right? And there are several other huge festivals, but there are also these regional smaller festivals like at Black Sea. How do you see the role of festivals like this? What role can they play in developing the industry, and how can they contribute?
I think as a massive role. In fact, I'm a great fan of the smaller festivals, and I'd like to maybe encourage them to prosper in various ways. I'll try and do it with Lurch's archive support in some way, because I think the big festivals are their day is past in some ways. I mean, they're huge. I just think it's a very unsustainable and perhaps not very good for the industry. I mean, a big public company running Cannes Lions takes a lot of money actually out of the industry into the pockets of who owns this big public company, and that's not going back into the industry. Whereas I think a smaller festival typically is much more going back into the local industry. Or it could be a charitable foundation as well. And so I think D&AD and One Show I'm a bit more supportive of as a big things because they are ultimately charities. But I'd have to see smaller things. My own businesses are relatively small. I think if they got really big, they would be slow, and they would be egregious. There would be the money that the subscribers are paying or the advertisers are paying wouldn't be going into the product so much. It would be going into the big structure of the business. So I think we should try and build lightweight businesses, and for the planet itself, we should be reasonably sustainable and not having everybody travels in one spot in the world, as we can. So I think small festivals, yeah, they have a good future. They're needed. Yeah.
They can. I think they can be like play their role.
Yeah, you can get good
local
people
level.
to come here. You can get good people to come and speak in the sport festivals or just competitions or whatever you want to do. So the event can come to the people a bit more rather than all the people go to one place and all the speakers go to one place. It's just too much. Just too much in one place. Yeah.
And for those who were not able to attend this year's festival, what is one main message you would like to give them about the future of creativity? What is the one spark they should keep alive to continue their creative journey?
Well, creativity is not an option. We need it. We need creativity, innovation to keep our whole society alive, as it were. But certainly in advertising and communication, it's always moving forward. To stand out, to make an impact, you've got this position between being incredibly boring and looking at everything else because your work doesn't stand out. If you go too far, it can be unfamiliar and impossible for people to understand. But you're trying to defamiliarize the familiar and make it new, make it people engage with you, think about you afresh, get a message across that's going to kind of resonate with them, they're going to feel it. So it's essential. It's not an optional thing. In fact, we just saw a presentation a little bit earlier by Fernando Machado about the Burger King work and how that performed and how successful it was. And he also showed some stats that showed just how creativity is the biggest thing that a brand can do to change its performance. It's just a fact. Creativity pays at work. So the question then comes to, so how your creativity should be, maybe, how are you going to use it? And you should be bold, take risks. When you feel uncomfortable, that's probably because you're about to do something quite good. You should really challenge and realize that change, and sometimes quite disruptive change, that's the nature of things, and you should be doing it, or it'll be done to you. It's better to be doing it than have it done to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Louis, for joining us. This was Louis Blackwell for Offstage Talks.